Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And with CoD Vanguard not too far around the corner, a lot of questions have been raised as to exactly how it's going to play from a competitive perspective. Clayster indicating that gentlemen's agreements, it's time to put them out the window and play the game out of the box next year, whatever that means for competitive play. And tweeting your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, I wanted to mention this top 10 CoD Esports career earnings after Cold War Champs. This is the top 10 list as it stands right now. Crimsix number 1, 1.3 mil. Clayster in number 2 with just under 1.2 mil. Both of course in Modern Warfare, they won the World Championship on that game. But the 3, 4 and 5 now, remarkably, are all Atlanta FaZe members. It's Arcitys over a mil, it's aBeZy over a mil, it's Simp over a mil, and they joined the 1 mil career total earnings club. Simp is pretty ridiculous to be honest. aBeZy's been around like one more season than Simp. He played in the World War II days, won a little bit of prize money over there. But Simp coming into the season halfway through Black Ops 4 and just dominating the rest of the last few seasons. It's been ridiculous. Overtaking Scump, Formal Karma, and Cellium's up there as well now in number 9. Shotzzy's in 10th, even though I'm pretty sure $200,000 of this came from FeLo. So that's kind of why he's so quickly risen to this top 10 position. But yeah, so many big names, the likes of JCat, who won 2 World Championships, aBeZy, who won 2 World Championships. They're not even on this top 10 list anymore. And well, aBeZy, Simp, and Arcitys are straight up in there. And the question mark, I think, is already being raised as to where guys like Simp and aBeZy sit on the top 10 list of all-time players. Because they've got to now be in there somewhere, and give them a few more years like this, who knows where they end up, not only in terms of earnings, but also in terms of all-time greatness, because well, they're certainly on their road. Another all-time great, of course, is Parasite with free agency around the corner. I'm also a free agent for CDL 2021. Kind of interesting to hear his perspective on things right here, because of course, he had a tough time this season. He got put into the Ravens, but it just wasn't ideal, because he wasn't given the opportunity to be a leader on that team. He was kind of just required to fill a gap, and he didn't get to build the team and build the culture as he would have liked to. I think he can do a good job doing that on a squad, to be honest. And whether that happens this offseason, who knows? I think if expansion comes into play, it'd certainly be a consideration. But it's just tough for a lot of these guys that have done really well in challenges. World champion, 7 times pro champion, 8 times challenger champion, if that matters. Last thing I'll mention, if results are not apparent, there's a clear lack of leadership in the CDL. Coaches are great because they help reinforce ideas out of the game, but at the end of the day, they aren't spawning in with you. If you want to build, I am right here, says Parasite. Another one to consider, of course, is Douglas said to Martin, any CDL teams that want free consulting on who to pick up from challenges, bang at my line. I know who works hard and is deserving of a spot for myself. I have to perform better and have better placings before my chance comes again. I believe in myself and I'm not in a rush, says Sensor. Yeah, free consulting from Doug Sensor Martin. If you're a CDL pro team, you can't turn that type of stuff down. He certainly has a good eye for who's actually dominating the challenger scene and who is the next up and coming talent. Wanted to mention this as well. This happened a while ago now, but just so much has happened these last few days. I was kind of waiting to talk about this. But in League play, if you guys still playing it in Cold War, the EM2 and the Tech 9 have been restricted, so thankfully that's not an issue anymore. The EM2 was a bit of a disaster when that came into League play not too long ago now, and well, thankfully that is out the window, no doubt. But still, we did discuss this yesterday, but from some confirmations really from Charlie Intel in terms of some of these images as to what might be going on here for the new game. So this image comes out, the Crone tweets out right here, automatic sprint enabled, well, option enabled. So as you can see, you've got automatic tactical sprint, I guess you've got automatic sprint as well, and then you've just got this straight up being disabled. So yeah, tactical sprint is back, and that also means that automated tactical sprint, automatic tactical sprint, as you guys may know it as ATS, which we talked about a fair bit these last couple of seasons because there's been a fair bit of drama about it, is well, it's making its return. Now, of course, there's been a lot of talk about this. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, off automatic sprint, automatic tactical sprint. We've also got doors making the return. This came out as well, door bash return or door bash interaction. So you can either manually do it and open the door yourself, or like if you just run through the door, it will slam open. Now, look, I don't really know what this is going to mean for competitive. There's rumors that it is not quite as bad as it was before in terms of the doors. There's also all these destructible environments we discussed yesterday, and some of the implications that may have for competitive play, what kind of spots could be possible. Now, Clayster, as kind of up there with Cellium, is one of these kind of ratty players. You don't necessarily think about it so much, but Cellium loves finding new spots and new ideas, and he's always one of the players that tries to use new weapons and stuff like this if he can potentially gain something of a competitive advantage that most of the pros get kind of stuck into the stable meta that they had for the entire season. But Clayster's like, look, this next year, let's just not go down the gentleman's agreement route with a lot of this stuff. I don't really know what they will do. Things like doors, things like I know Sledgehammer does listen to the competitive scene. They've done that pretty well in the past, but and also the destructible environments and stuff. I'm sure the pros are going to have a fair few complaints about how the way they're set up on certain maps, and whether Sledgehammer respond to that and decide to disable these things, or whether it may be Clayster's idea, they're just like, everything is kind of free game and let's just use something to the best of our ability. Now Panna says another year of guessing if someone is cheating, as this year automated tactical sprint, automatic tactical sprint was, well, it was gentleman's agreemented from professional play, because using ATS meant that you didn't have to double tap your left thumbstick to actually sprint. You could just push it forwards and then you automatically sprint immediately. So like automatic sprint was disabled, or at least it was gentleman's agreemented this year. Automatic tactical sprint was gentleman's agreemented last year, because it just made it so easy to slide cancel and get around corners. You never had to like walk anywhere. You could just move forwards and sprint, tactical sprint immediately, and it made the movement a lot more difficult to deal with. And they decided that it was well, it was maybe a cop out for players with bad movement. That you know, if you have good movement, then you can actually just press it twice and get kind of the same effect. But it's kind of tough to do so. So therefore, it was G8 out of competitive play. And as Panda says, like, another year of guessing if someone's cheating. There was a fair bit of drama about this as well. You guys remember at the start of this season when it was like Crimsix versus Neptune, saying that he was using it in practice and cheating and this type of stuff. And apparently there was other players potentially using it as well. And well, as Paris says right here, to be honest, I don't see it being G8 anymore. No way anyone wants to do that to their thumbs, right? That's really the thing with well, using normal sprint if you want attack sprint, is that you just got to slam your left thumbstick all the time. It's tough to deal with, and it's in the options in the game for a reason, to prevent your controllers getting broken, which the pros haven't wanted to actually use it in competitive play. And well, as Clayster says now, GA committee is dead. So maybe Slasher, Sacked, all these guys are not quite as effective as they used to be. Anything goes next year, says Clayster. So pretty confident that everything's going to come into play. Whether of course this will be the case, it remains to be seen. But I would kind of like to see it for a time. I'm sure that GAs will happen to a degree. Like, we always have GAs. Maybe you only allow a certain amount of trophies on the map, or if something's ridiculously broken, okay, maybe you want to get rid of it. But Clayster's always been of the sort that he kind of wants everything being gone. As you can see right here, like last year, or this is 2020 now, when there was some discussion about the amount of stuns that Florida had, because you're only allowed like a certain amount of stuns and flashes, but yet they had too many. So it was like, oh my god, like they must be cheating or something. This is why I think GAs are absolutely awful. Nobody keeps track or holds each other accountable. I sit down and make sure everyone on my team has the correct stuff, but we get people who sit down and play not even caring. So difficult to hold each other accountable, one of the issues. We also get this right, you know, the chaos around GAs is pleasing. When are we going to play the game out of the box like it is intended around about Christmas last year? So Clayster's always wanted to go down that chaotic route, and I'm kind of intrigued to see what happens when the game launches, right? Because there's certainly going to be some players that see these destructible environments, shooting out planks to get line of sight on bombs, and say, okay, this is kind of ridiculous, maybe we should GA this or somehow turn off destructible environments. But there's going to be other players like Clayster that are like, yeah, okay, let's just go down this route, embrace the chaos, and maybe find out some really interesting things that can give you a competitive advantage. Because I'm always down for things that if players like really grind the game and try and find these special spots, kind of like how Cellium did for that spot that killed Bance on that Apocalypse hardpoint to finish off the World Championship, that things like that players can find out are like really cool. And maybe the opportunities in this game with the destructible environment and the doors, and I mean, I don't really know if that's going to help necessarily, but they could add some degree of competitive like strategy and depth, which we may not have had in previous titles. It may also be very uncompetitive if it's done badly, and so maybe that there is a place maybe for some discussion here with the pro players. But Clayster's thinking, let's just get back to basics and throw everything out the window. Wanted to talk about this as we finish off the video then, because of course now the off-season has arrived. As Hitch says, throwback tournament time. Lots of options for throwback tourneys for, well, this coming couple of months. And well, World War II, Modern Warfare 19. It's tough to say what exactly people will be playing here for the off-season, because World War II, like Modern Warfare 2019, if anything, is going to be more similar to Vanguard than World War II is, even though it was in a World War II era. And World War II was kind of fun. Modern Warfare maybe not so much, but I guess maybe 4v4 could make it slightly better. It's somewhat tough to say. But yes, still, as Burn says in reply, if you held an Advanced Warfare tournament, the world would heal. That'd be honestly awesome to see. But of course, going to be somewhat different, I imagine, in terms of movement mechanics to Vanguard, but there still could be a good one to watch. This also from eZone Media, there's been some talk about Plutonium, right? The way you can play Black Ops 2 on PC, that aim assist is coming very soon indeed. That means that LAN on PC could be a possibility. Potentially some tournaments happening like this as well, coming relatively soon as well. So very exciting stuff to see. And this as well from the CDL, maybe it is too soon to tell, but who do you think is holding that trophy in 2022? I mean, look, it's definitely too soon to tell. We have no idea what even some of these rosters are going to be. The only thing we know for sure is that Atlanta FaZe are going to be sticking into next year. Now, well, look, this team of 4, they're going to be deadly. At the same time, though, there's never been a team, there's never been an organization that has retained a world championship crown. After all the years, 2013 all the way through to 2021, it's never happened that an organization has retained a crown. It's happened to some players from time to time, but not particularly often. I think it was, with JCap back in Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare before that. And then most recently, right, with Clayster and actually Karma way back in Black Ops 2 and then Ghost. So it's happened to some players over the years, but never an organization. Can FaZe do it next year? Of course, well, it's going to be difficult to do so. I guess they're favorites already. They're going to be tough to dethrone, but eventually it will happen. Maybe it'll be next year. And, well, of course, we hope there's some great Call of Duty coming up. And just along the concept of champs, I thought this is really interesting from RGC Frostbite, going through, well, the best average finishes at the World Championship. Thought this is kind of impressive because I think people underrate JCap in terms of his achievements in Call of Duty. He might not have been the most disgusting player in terms of individual gun skill, but way back in Black Ops 1, he was considered like the best player in the game, and he averages almost 3rd place at champs. Given the amount of champs that he went to from like all the way back in Black Ops 2 when he made the grand finals, I'm pretty sure he made 4 grand finals at champs and won 2 of them. So this guy's out of control. But of course, like, you've got these other players down here as well. The one that really stands out is Simp, right? He's been to 3 World Championships. He's won 2 of them. He's come 2nd in the other one. That is honestly just completely outrageous, and I don't imagine that's going to stop anytime soon. Of course, he's on a God squad right now and has kind of been on God squad since he started to join the CDL or the CWL before the CDL even kicked off. But still, there's a reason why those squads are so good, and part of that has to do with the fact that he's on the teams. And aBeZy would be right up with him there, I imagine, if he wasn't on, like, if he didn't play in World War II and had a difficult result of the World Championship on, maybe it was Enigma 6 or something back in 2018. But yes, intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. I know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thanks for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.